Alright, so let's think about it. Reordering decimals using inequalities. So inequalities, remember, is going to be the less than sign or greater than sign or less than and equal to or greater than equal to. So when we are reordering numbers, and specifically decimals that are negative, we kind of want to think of a number line. So if I go ahead and draw a number line right here, and because they're negative, I'm going to assume that 0 is here and that negative is going to be on the left side and positive is going to be on the right side. Well, let's think about it. The bigger a number is, it's going to be going that way, right? If I have, say, negative 2 is going to be smaller than negative 1. The bigger the number is, it should keep going to the right. Alright, well, if I'm looking at that and I want to look at my numbers, I want to see what ones keep going closer to the right on the number scale. So let's look between negative 0.5, which is actually right in the middle, right? Compared to, let's look at 0.56, right? Because they're very, very similar. 0.56 is actually getting closer to negative 1, so it's going to be just shy of that other number. So if we look at it, all right, this number is going to be bigger than this number. So when we want to start to reorder these, we want to start to order them when they kind of get closer to 0. So if we're looking at numbers getting closer to 0, I first want to compare the numbers themselves. So if I'm looking at it, the biggest number that I see here is 0.56 because we just verified that it's bigger than the negative 0.5. So I know that this is the biggest number. That also means that it's going to be farther this way, and that also means that is going to be coming first in line. Because think of it as negatives, it's the opposite as positives. So we're going to actually have to label that first. So we have negative 0.56, and then next comes negative 0.5. Alright, so then we want to look at what's coming next. Well, I have 2 zeros here, 2 zeros here, and then 1 0 here. So clearly, if I was thinking about it, the 1 0 is going to be coming next because that is then slowly getting closer to 0, but not just quite. So negative 0.05. And then lastly, it's between negative 0.005 and negative 0.0056. So if I were to line these up and I say negative 0.005, and I'm just going to put a same 0 there, and I'm going to have negative 0.0056 so that they all line up. Okay, what's bigger, 56 or 50? Well, 56 is bigger, so we kind of want to have that first because we're going opposite. Then we would have 50, so I put 0.0056, and lastly negative 0.005. And that is the order that our numbers should be in. Okay, if that's a little bit challenging for you to understand, just think, well, negatives are opposite of what? Positives. So first, let's just forget about the negatives for a second and reorder this. Alright, if I look at it, the smallest one, if they were positive, okay, we're just thinking about positive, the smallest one is going to be between this guy and this guy. And if I want, I can line them up. I can line all of them up. Actually, I'll do 0.008. I'll do 0.81, 0.8, and then 0.0081. So if I actually want to compare the smallest, I'm looking between these two zeros. I'm looking between this one right there, and I'm looking between this one right there. And so if I want to look at it, if I just add another 0 right here, between 80 and 81, right, the 81 is technically bigger. Okay, so the smallest one I have is going to be 0.008 because that's smaller, and then right after it I can put, oops, I don't want that sign just yet. I can put 0.0081. All right, the next one that's going to be bigger if I put a 0 right here. Between 81 and 80, 81 is going to be bigger, so I'll put 0.80. Well, I don't really need that 0, and then I'm going to put 0.81. Okay, so these are in order from least to greatest. Now, because negatives, we're using negatives, they're opposite than positive, but we ordered it in the positive way. Usually we will put this sign, but because they are negative, negatives are opposite than positives, we are going to use this sign. So instead of the other sign, we will just put greater than in between. So now that we know that this is actually the greatest number if we put our negatives in, and then this is the least number, and it actually ends up working out. So there are two ways to be able to do these problems.